Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Welcome kindreds, it's Jessica TheStoryWitch, and this is a very special Plan With Me edition because it is part of the Witchy Bujo collab that I'm doing with Samantha Menzo. We are hosting this and we're hoping that other people are going to take part as well using the tags #Witchy Bujo Journal, Witchy Bujo collab, and #June Fairies, #June Fae. I'll link all those things down below and everything that I've been using. It's been a bit of a challenging theme for me because I don't do a lot of kind of drawing, illustration-y type stuff. So I've used, as you will see, I've used quite a bit of collage through this one. Although I did do a little bit of drawing as well, and I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. I decided to go for a mainly monochrome theme, but with just that yellow being picked up as the kind of accent colour for the month. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I always set up a page facing my kind of title page for the month because I think it kind of sets the tone, having a double page spread like that. I use some pictures. Most of the pictures have been pulled out of journals, and this picture is an artist who is in Sage Woman magazine. I'll try and link her website down below as well so you can find that picture. And then some of the pictures are just things that I printed off the internet, like off Google image searches and things like that. So yeah, that was just a little bit of collage, and then onto the title page. And this is probably my most involved I've ever done on a title page. I do usually like to include a little bit of kind of doodling and illustration, but not as much as I've done here. And because like you guys voted for the theme to be fairies, then I wanted to make sure I included a fairy on my title page. But I've also used, because I wanted to use the yellow, and because for me dandelions are a very special flower, especially when they make the little like kind of clocks, and it links in with like time but also with wishes. Like I know when we used to blow the dandelion seeds, we'd be like scattering our wishes and scattering our blessings out into the world. So I've used dandelions, seeds, wishes, fairies. Yeah, it's all going on. I found a little illustration off the internet, and then I used like you scribble on the back with a pencil and then print it back through to make it how I wanted it. So I kind of used that as a guide, and then I kind of riffed off that myself, and then I used that little piece of card then to trace through my fairy. Now for me, fairies, I don't kind of believe in fairies in that kind of like Victorian flower fairy sense. I've never met any fairies like that. In Wales we call them y Tylwyth Teg, which means the fair folk, the fair people, and I kind of connect more with that fairy energy as a kind of land spirit, even more as kind of land wights or land spirits, and also tree spirits and things like that. So for me, fairy energy is not something that's necessarily kind of cute and pretty. It is something that is more, you never quite know what you're going to get. There can definitely be some great benefits with working with them, but I'm always a little bit cautious because I just think that's kind of sensible. And yeah, I think June, this month is my birthday month as well, and I think that it does tie in well with the kind of folklore of midsummer, which is coming up in June. So yeah, I think it did work out really well as being a good theme for this month. It's good fun. And yeah, so I'm just doing my dandelion clock. I hadn't really I did a couple of trial runs just on a piece of scrap paper, and I was like, let's just go for it. So, but yeah, it kind of turned out okay. I did a few different types, and then I just used a stamp to make like one that looked a bit further off in the distance. That was the idea anyway with that one. Yeah. I didn't include my skull. I've been including a skull on my title pages for each month, but to be honest, I felt like I'd still represented death, which is my my tarot card for this year, in the fact that having the dandelion alive, and then also the dead dandelions, because and also that dandelion clock encapsulates that idea of death, because it's the transformative nature of death, because the one flower dies, but then the seeds pass on to the other flowers and spread out and make many new flowers depending on where they land. So I love that idea of death as being like a kind of journey off to another realm, which is like those dandelion seeds. So yeah, I felt like that it didn't matter that I hadn't included an actual skull in this spread. It didn't feel like the right thing to do. So yeah, and I added a little bee because also there's a lot of bees around this month as well. It's a time where there'll be lots of things that are I've been out in the garden a lot now, and there's just insects everywhere, which is really cool. So yeah, there's some bees going on here too. And then for my calendar spread, I've done this very similarly to how I've done it for ages. I just like having it over this double format because it gives me enough space to do what I need to do. I tend to I use like a simple code where I use a triangle for an event and just a bullet point for something I need to do on that day, and like a little star for a special event. And I find that this just works really well for me. I do obviously make a more detailed to-do list than I would say. Obviously, I know not everybody does that, but I tend to do dailies, actual dailies. So each day I'll write a to-do list and like an events list and things of what is going on that day. But I find being able to see the whole month like this is really helpful, because I can plan out what's going on for me and for the rest of the family and stuff as well. I can see it all at a glance, which is really helpful. And I added in another dandelion clock onto this page to tie it in with the theme. And my marker, you probably noticed that I used a grey dual brush Tombow, and I'll list all the things that I use down below. I'll try and make sure I've listed, because I used quite a few different pens and stuff this month, so I'll link all them down below. Not that different from usual, mostly the same, but because I use different colours, so I'll link those. But yeah, my Tombow, because I'd used it to colour in the stamp on the previous page, it was still kind of a bit gold, because I'd obviously used that stamp in a gold pad before. So it kind of started off more golden when I was drawing out my calendar boxes, and then got to the colour it was supposed to be by the end. But I actually think it looked quite cool, so I was happy with that. Yeah, then using that kind of muted-y orange yellow again for the title, the same as I did for the month, like I did on the last page too. And then I just added some extra little bits and bobs, some fairy things to tie in with the theme, and more of the little wish seeds, which we call them fairies. My children call them fairies. So there's fairies and there's fairies. I think it turned out pretty well. I was originally going to use the same marker, the like kind of orangey marker, to do the kind of top bar of my calendar as well. But I'm glad that I didn't now, because I think that it would have just looked too much. So I feel like this is more, just a little bit more subtle. And then I've got my moon stamps out and my astrology moon diary, so that I can put on the times of the full moon, the new moon, and the 2 half moons as well, quarter moons, if we're talking in astrological correct terms. So I like to make a note of those, because even though I stick the bit from the astrology moon diary in as well, I like to have them actually on my planner, so I can see in the month where they're falling, and also what time, because like sometimes when the moon falls like early in the morning, then I find it better to use the night before if I'm going to do some kind of ritual for that moon. And I haven't filled anything in on the calendar apart from that yet, because we were doing this as the collab with me and Sammy. I've set it up a lot earlier than I normally would. I usually do it like a few days before the new month, because I find that makes me feel kind of more organised going into the new month. But I've done this, it's the 23rd today when I'm filming this, so obviously there's still quite a bit of May left yet. But yeah, I felt like I wanted to get it done sooner, especially so that people, if they want to use the theme and take part in the collab, people have got plenty of time still to get it done. So if you fancy having a go and you're gonna, please do use the tag so that I can find your video and watch your video as well. Or like I said, you can also use it over on Instagram. And then onto the field notes, the field guide. I've been doing this now I've been making a field guide, which is like kind of the things to see in the flora and fauna, weather, astrology and things like that for the month. I've been doing that now since January, and then last month I experimented with doing it as kind of like a photo collage rather than just making a written list, which is what I was doing before, and I really loved it. It just is so much more inspiring to kind of just flick through and think, oh yes, that herb this month, or look out for this thing happening this month, rather than like reading through a wall of text. So yeah, I think this is definitely going to be something that I'm going to continue to do as I go throughout the year. And yeah, I deliberately kind of grayscaled the images and use little bits and bobs. That little key was on an envelope which a friend sent me, and I really loved it. It was so lovely, so I wanted to use that as the title kind of the spread. Yeah, and then just adding a few little bits of decoration. So it's quite different from how my last month's one looked, because I used actual colour images last month, and I did make a note of a few of the herbs and things because I wasn't sure if it was going to be that easy to know what they were for some of them, because they were in black and white. But yeah, it's I think it looks really cool, and hopefully it'll be really useful again like it was last month. And then every month I like to do just a kind of to-do list, a goals list. So I've got in June I will, and then I will make a list of the things that I will do in June. There are a few things on my list for May which I haven't done. We got a puppy in May, and that has meant my to-do list has been a little bit I've not been as on top of things as I normally am, because I've been distracted obviously with settling in the new pup and everything, but that's a nice kind of distraction to have, so I'm not complaining about that. And this is something that I don't normally include, but I decided to include a kind of, not really a quote, because it's not really a quote, just literally make a wish, because June is my birthday month and I wanted to have a kind of place to write some birthday wishes. So I made a page specially for that, and I thought it kind of tied in really well with the dandelion fairies, the making a wish with the dandelion fairies that I've been using all the way through this month's setup. So yeah, make a wish. And you know, my lettering is not fabulous, it's something that I am working on, but I know this page is going to be functional, and that it'll be nice for me to kind of look back, because these wishes will be relevant now for the whole year, and I may well maybe try and pull in some of that fairy energy when I make those wishes. So, and just yeah, I just added another little bee because I thought they were cute. And some more little fairies, some more dandelion fairies. And we're nearly at the end of the setup now. I've got my field notes here, which is a page for recording. So my field guide is like kind of what to expect this month, what is kind of what's up in nature and everything this month. And then my field notes are my actual observations of what I've seen out and about in the field. So yeah, I've been finding it cool to kind of keep a note of, like, you know, oh, this tree started blooming here at this date, and the weather has been like this on this date, those sort of things. And then for my habit tracker, I've been feeling a bit meh with my habit trackers the last few months, and so this, trying out different things and not really working, so I decided to have a little bit of fun with this one, and I've made some dandelions to track my habits in the form of dandelions. I'm only using 3 habits like I did this month. I haven't been super great at tracking because I haven't been having my kind of usual kind of check-in time at the end of the day, but I'm hoping now as things have settled down with the puppy and everything that I will kind of get back into the habit of actually tracking my habits. I've been doing quite well with my habits, I just haven't been doing so well with actually tracking them. So yeah, I'm hoping that having something cute like this will help with that. I think it will. Just adding a few little decoration bits to those pages. I really love the colour of that Tombow, that kind of goldy. It doesn't actually look so nice, it looks kind of browny on here, but it is a beautiful yellowy gold. And so here is my finished setup with June. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, to be honest. Normally I go for a kind of more multicoloured effect, but I really liked how the kind of grayscale and the yellowy orange worked out. Sorry if you can hear rustling behind me. We got a puppy a few weeks ago and he is trying to eat the laundry basket behind me. So yeah, I didn't go to town with drawing the fairies, but I still think that it's got a strong fairy theme going through it. And I haven't taken my deck card and all that sort of thing yet, so I will fill that in now. So my deck for next month, oh, he's shouting at me now. I'm going to use Shadowscapes because I think it kind of ties in really well, oh, mainly upside down, ties in really well with the fairy type theme, and so I felt like it would be really beautiful with my journal this month. So yeah, that is Shadowscapes. I write that in here. And my card for the month, I'll just check what that was. I drew the cards for the whole year back just before the start of the year. So June is the Page of Swords. So it's a Page of Pentacles for May. And now this month is going to be Page of Swords. So that'll be an interesting kind of shift on in the energy. And then Stone. I'm going to use the Lavish Earth deck for this one. He's literally inside the laundry bag behind me. If I didn't have the camera kind of fixed down, I would turn it around to show you. He's so cute. Okay, so pearl calcite. I don't have any specifically pearl calcite, but I do have some calcite. So I'm just going to put calcite in actually as my stone. And on here it says, pearl calcite is solid, plentiful and alive with a high, lovely vibration. It says abundance of all necessities. It has a creamy richness to it that reminds us to indulge in the finer things in life and not deny ourselves the most engaging, inspiring and life-enhancing experiences. Well, that is really interesting because obviously this month is my birthday month, and look how beautifully it goes with that. You couldn't fault that really, can you? So that is my stone. What about my plant? And I'm going to use Maia Illustrated Herbiary cards for this. Ooh, if I don't throw them all. I'm standing up recording this because I'm trying to do it downstairs on the dining table rather than up in the attic because I didn't want to leave the dog on his own. I do leave him on his own occasionally, obviously, but because this takes a long time to film, I thought it would be if you can even hear me over the rustling. So Starflower, Finding Grace. Starflower. I like using Starflower in like creams and things like that. So I'll look up what that means and pop that to one side for a second. And then the animal, and I'm going to use, you know, if I haven't got enough animal going on already, I can use Jessica Swift's Animal Allies Oracle cards for this, which I love. They're so beautiful. So let's see, which animal is it going to be for June? My birthday month. And it's the hummingbird, which is a bird that I associate with a lot. So I'll look up what that means in here. Hummingbird. Joy, freedom, beauty, seeking and soaking in life's sweet honey nectar, looking for joy and delight in everything you do. Gratitude. Hummingbird is also about accomplishing the impossible. She is the only bird that is able to fly backwards and to fly distances far greater than what they should be able to. Call on a hummingbird to lead you into the sweet nectar of your life, to the beauty and joy, and when you want to say yes to your life. Well, I can't really argue with that, can I, for June? And I do have some beautiful hummingbird bones that a friend very kindly sent me. So we don't have them in the UK, so that is a treat that I got sent. So that I'm not going to fill the goddess in because that is something I'll do with my Patreon circle. So I'm not quite ready to do that just yet. So that's my calendar page, and yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. The field guide, I just made some notes of some of the herbs because I did it black and white. You can't so much tell, you know, that is vervain, and that is the St. John's wort. So yeah, normally that'll be bright yellow, but that's kind of cool, I thought, actually, because of the yellow with the yellow. I haven't filled in my goals yet, but I will be migrating those over from May, the things that I haven't accomplished, and also looking back at my goals for the year to see. And my birthday wishes are going to go here on this page. Nearly there, and then I'll go and play with the puppy. And then my field notes, this is just where I fill in things that I've noticed in nature, and also whether I've kind of used or referred to any of this stuff on my field guide. And yeah, that's been working out so well, and I think it's going to be a really good resource to look back on in years to come as well, which is really cool. And then here is my habit tracker, which I think looks really cute. And I was going to put the numbers on these, but I decided not to. I'm just literally going to colour in random ones when I fill in. So I've written in, you know, exercise, eat clean, and tarot. And then I'm just going to colour in one little ball on the dandelions for each day that I do those things. And I don't exercise every day anyway, so obviously some of those things won't be coloured in. I'm not even aiming for that, but he's going in his little toy basket now and getting some other things to play with. So yes, that is that. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I do go and check out Sammy's video as well. All the links and everything will be down below. I'll also make sure that I link the things that I've used to create this spread down below, these spreads down below as well. And obviously I'm a little bit distracted because the puppy is doing what puppies do. And if you want to take part in the collab, like I said, do use the hashtag WitchyBujo and also June Fairies and or June Fae, either on YouTube or over on Instagram. And me and Sammy will be checking in with people that are doing that as well. I'm really excited. I know a couple of other people have said they're going to take part as well, which is so cool. Thank you so much for watching. Warmest blessings, and I will see you very soon.